so interesting to watch you, because a lot of times you've decided that you will be determined. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to achieve the relationship I want. I'm going to achieve the financial situation that I want. I'm going to achieve the bodily condition that I want. And in that determination, that is a very wonderful thing. It's so good to know what you want, and it's so good to speak about what you want. But we've been talking for years, and if you've been listening to us at all, you've been hearing us speaking about the law of attraction. Yes, most powerful, significant law in the universe, and the one that your understanding of it will serve you better than all others. And for a while you heard us speaking, and we often do, about the law of deliberate creation. We asked Jerry and Esther to call it the science of deliberate creation, because it really is ongoing and it's unfolding. But then we want to talk to you about the law of allowing. We began calling it the art of allowing, because the only law worth mentioning, really, we don't count gravity, is the law of attraction. But the art of allowing really is what we're talking about here. And it's about managing your vibration. It's about caring enough about how you feel that you tune yourself to the frequency of who you really are. Now, that's the most important thing to talk about. So you know that you are extensions of source energy. You know that, don't you? But you aren't just extensions of source energy in the sense that you were source and here you are an extension of that. You are extensions of source energy in a greater sense, in the sense that you are the ambassador of source energy. You are the leading edge of source energy. You are the pioneers of source energy. You are the physical manifestation of source energy. So here you are as leading edge creators, as enormous, essential catalysts to expansion, sifting and sorting and constantly launching these vibrational rockets. Now, you heard us say just now that when you know what you don't want, at many vibrational levels of your being, you know what you do want. Even consciously, you can say, well, I know I don't want that. I know I do want that. But it's much deeper than that. It's much more sophisticated than that. It's much more constant than that, where in every moment of your perceptual experience, you are launching these rockets, which means the larger part of you is becoming constantly. Now, this is the thing that most of our physical friends do not understand, but is so essential to your understanding if you are to understand your emotions or why you are here or how to be happy. And that is that with every expanding rocket or energy or vibration that exudes from you, and it does constantly all day, every day, that the larger part of you incrementally, and we only use that word because you're shooting the rockets off incrementally, but this larger part of you is incrementally expanding. So that means that the possibility of you getting further, vibrationally speaking, from who you are is something to consider, because every time you know what you don't want, you expand. But the question is, are you taking the expansion, or are you beating the drum that caused the expansion? You follow? Because when you know what you don't want, you expand. And if you know what you don't want, you expand some more. And if you talk about what you don't want, you expand some more. And if you join a blog, you expand some more. And those online chat groups, you expand some more. But the question is, are you going with the expansion, or are you just causing the expansion? And the way you feel is your indicator of whether you're going with it or whether it's getting out ahead of you. And if it gets out ahead of you, then you don't feel so good. If life causes you to expand and you are not aware of the expansion and doing your work in keeping up with it, then the gap can get wide enough that you can begin to experience some discomfort that is beyond the negative emotion that we love you very much. The negative emotion that, oh, we love you so much. The negative emotion that you have come to accept as part of life. In other words, it feels normal to you to complain. It feels normal for you to feel resentful. It feels normal for you to feel embarrassed or fearful, or it feels normal for you. In other words, you know because you talk to others about the same thing and they tell you they feel the same way. And so you validate your negative emotion because everybody's doing it. And because everybody's doing it, it doesn't feel so weird to you, but it ought to feel weird to you because you're supposed to feel good. And when you don't, something's off, you see. So when we talk about the art of allowing, We're not just talking about you allowing your new car to come or your new home to come or your lover to come or your physical condition to improve. We are talking about that, but not just that. When we talk about the art of allowing, what we're really talking about you allowing is your alignment, your connection, your involvement, your vibrational sameness with your inner being, who keeps taking the expansion and never holds back from it. Your inner being, the source within you, this non-physical part of you, who we are wanting you to understand exists in this vibrational frequency of knowledge and understanding and beingness. Do you understand that the frequency, the vibrational frequency of a solution is different than the frequency of the problem? But they are tied together in this vibrational wave. In other words, they are equal parts of the same concept. It's why humans talk about duality. We don't follow that conversation too fully because it takes you off on all kinds of wild goose chases. But it is so nice to know that you are constantly expanding and that everything you feel, no matter what, is about one thing and one thing only. It's about your personal, in this moment of the feeling, vibrational relationship with that expanded version. Sometimes over the years, Esther has said, as she's standing in a place not feeling so good, and as she's been listening to us long enough to know that the worse she feels, the better we feel. What's up with that? If you were really a non-physical entity that was worth its salt, you'd have empathy for me and you'd come over here and comfort me. And we say, that's the thing that you got to understand and accept and come to adore about your inner being. Your inner being takes the expansion and holds that place marker for you so that you can come into vibrational frequency with it. That's what guidance system is. This is a thing that we really want to emphasize. When you care about how you feel, your vortex will affect, it will cause, it will facilitate a manifestation that is seeable, hearable, smellable, tasteable, touchable. In other words, the manifestation hot on the heels of your alignment that you feel at first. So if you could just give up your need to see it before you believe it, and instead be willing to feel it and believe it before you see it. Esther had an image the other day of one of those big tractor things. There are all kinds of digger machines, but they have those wheels, those tracks. And she could see it dipping into the vortex and then causing a manifestation that, as she looked at the manifestation, caused her to get into the vortex. And because she's in the vortex, it affected a manifestation, and now she's viewing the manifestation, which caused her to get into the vortex. It was sort of like this cycle of alignment. The man on the tractor could not understand her captivation. Watching his wheel go around and round and round. Little did he know that it was a spiritual movement that she was having. Just understanding, because she's beginning to notice in a very powerful way that however she is feeling is affecting manifestation fast. Fast. What you feel affects manifestation fast. So if you're noticing something unwanted and feeling around it, it's affecting more manifestation fast. And you say, well, things aren't so good. Things could be a lot better. I don't like that, and I don't like that, and I don't like that, and I don't like that. And the universe says, well, then you're not going to like this, and you're not going to like this, and you're not going to like this, and you're not going to like this. And you say, right, I don't like that, and I don't like that, and I don't like that. I should call somebody. I should call somebody and ask them how they would like that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Because maybe if I drag someone else into my chain of pain, they'll take some of it and go off and bury it somewhere. And we say, no, that isn't the way it works. When you involve someone else, now you become more specifically focused upon what isn't wanted, which leads us to really what we think is the most important part of understanding how to connect with your vortex and how to stay in vibrational alignment with your vortex long enough that you begin to see the effect of the manifestations as quickly as now. You were following us earlier when we were talking about the problem creates an equivalent solution. You follow that? But they are different frequencies. So if you're fixated on the problem, you don't have access to the solution, not right now anyway. So the more you focus upon any problem, the more detailed it becomes. In other words, you get focused up on a problem and it comes from every direction. Have you noticed? Standing in line with strangers and they're talking about the very problem. Oh, I can't believe you're saying that. That just happened to me. So as you are focused with greater and greater detail upon the problem begins to gain more momentum. Now, it's a wonderful thing. It's also causing the solution to gain more momentum, but you're not a vibrational match to the solution, so the crevasse, the gap between where you are and who you really are gets wider and wider, and you feel worse and worse. So the more detailed you get, the more specific you get about a problem, the more you hold yourself in vibrational opposition to feeling good and to the solution to your problem and to being who you really are. And so if you are set on specific detail of unwanted things, that's what's going to come back to you. So you're just sort of holding yourself in that spiral of knowing what you don't want and getting more of it, knowing what you don't want and getting more of it, knowing what you don't want and getting more of it. Now, of course, you're not just doing that. You're focused upon a lot of things that you do want. But mostly you're not doing very much of it on purpose. And the reason you're not doing very much of it on purpose is because most everybody you know, 99% of human population is offering your vibrational frequency in response to what you're observing. So if something good happens, you offer a good feeling response and you goose a little bit more of that into your experience. But if something bad happens or if you see something unwanted, then you're filling your vibrational coffers with that, so to speak. So what we want you to understand is that when you have anything going on that is not wanted, whether it is mild or severe, that the more specific you are, the more severe it becomes. And that the answer to breaking that pattern is to not try to jump into the pure positive because you can't, but to get general. And we're talking generally negative. So as you begin speaking generally negative instead of specifically negative, then this spiral that's got a grip on you begins to lose its grip. And you begin noticing right away by the feedback that comes back to you. Two kinds of feedback coming to you: emotional feedback and manifestational feedback. We really want you to think of manifestational feedback as the best friend that you've ever had, because what manifests is reflecting where you are. What manifests is reflecting what you are creating. What you are creating. What you are creating. Not what happened to you. Not what happened to somebody else. What you are creating, what you are creating, what you are creating, what you are creating. It would be like driving down the freeway. Esther does it frequently. And those little bumps on the side of the road that quite often awaken Jerry from his nap because he knows that something could be going terribly wrong when he hears those bumps on the side of the road. And it would be like just completely ignoring the side of the road. Oh, I know it says don't enter, that it's one-way traffic coming the other way, but what the heck? Odds are I'll do all right. I'm alert. And we say, you just don't want to play with fire like that. When negative emotion is present, it's letting you know that you have entered a minefield where the likelihood of you observing more things that are going to hold you and cause you to be more specific is very great. So when you say, I'm going to pay attention to the way I feel, and I'm going to notice that the more general I am about something that doesn't feel good, that the better I feel. And then you begin noticing the manifestational evidence of that. Now you're on a roll, and now you have just stepped in, you've just clicked in to your maybe first, at least it's happening now, awareness of what deliberate creation really is deliberately feeling, is thinking and feeling. So now, as you find something that is generally negative, now do you know it is just so logical and simple for you to move into something that is generally positive. We're going to do this with any of you who are willing today about anything that is important to you if you want to move your energy on things. Because as you move into that generally negative place, it's fairly easy to move into a generally positive place. And when you do that, You're going to feel relief even in a stronger way. But the thing that you're going to notice is manifestations are going to come right around you as evidence that you have made that vibrational shift.